If you're looking at ways to get a US green card using your financial capital, well, the whole game is changing. Today, we're going to break down two very different ways you can do that: the old school investment model and a totally new idea involving a direct payment. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the basic concept, then introduce the two programs going head to head. After that, we'll do a deep dive into 5 key advantages of the new model, add up the score, and wrap up with a big picture question about what all this really means.
All right, let's kick things off by talking about the core idea here. Using money or capital as a direct ticket to becoming a lawful permanent resident in the United States.
And that really gets to the heart of the matter, right? This is the fundamental question both of these programs are trying to answer. But as you're about to see, they go about it in completely different ways with very different goals in mind.
Okay, let's get into the two models. On one hand, you've got the investor visa program that's been around for a long time. And on the other, there's this newer concept that completely rethinks the whole transaction.
First up, the EB-5 program. The whole philosophy here is to connect immigration directly to boosting the economy. So, an individual puts a large sum of money into a US business, and in return, that business has to create a certain number of jobs for Americans. You're basically earning your residency by making a verifiable contribution. Now, in stark contrast, expert reports are talking about this new Gold Card program. This model changes the goal from stimulating the economy to simply generating revenue for the government. It completely cuts out the middleman, the private business investment, the job creation, and just replaces it with a straightforward payment directly to the US government.
So how do these two stack up against each other when the rubber meets the road? Well, a close analysis shows 5 key areas where they differ. And these differences often turn into major advantages for anyone who values speed, certainty, and simplicity.
First up, and this is a big one for a lot of people, speed. The amount of time it takes to get from application to a final decision is just worlds apart between these two programs. And what's really striking here is just how massive the difference is. The Gold Card is designed to be super efficient. We're talking a matter of weeks. The EB-5, on the other hand, takes so much longer because of all the verification needed to make sure the investment is real and the job creation plan is solid. That due diligence is thorough, for sure, but it creates a really long wait. All right, the next key difference isn't just about when you get residency, but what kind of residency you get right out of the gate. And this really impacts an applicant's peace of mind. You see, the EB-5 process has this crucial trial period. Once you're initially approved, you get a 2-year conditional green card. It's basically a way to make sure the investor actually follows through on creating the jobs they promised. At the end of those 2 years, they have to file another petition to prove they did it, and only then can they get permanent status. And this is where the Gold Card's approach is so different. Because it gets rid of performance requirements like job creation, it can just skip that whole conditional phase. A successful applicant gets a full 10-year permanent green card from day one. That just erases all the uncertainty and extra paperwork of that second stage. And that leads us perfectly to the next point, which is really the entire reason the EB-5 program exists in the first place. And it's something the other model doesn't have at all. The job creation mandate. 10, that's the magic number for the EB-5 program. Every single investment has to lead to the creation of at least 10 full-time permanent jobs for US workers. I mean, that's the core justification for the entire program. So here's the bottom line. For the EB-5, creating jobs is both its main goal and its biggest hurdle for applicants. If you don't hit that target, your whole path to a green card could be in jeopardy. The Gold Card program just takes that variable off the table entirely. Success isn't measured by job creation. Okay, so our fourth point really builds on what we just talked about. It's not just about creating jobs, it's about the risk to the applicant's own money. See, under EB-5 rules, your capital has to be actively at risk. This is a legal requirement to make sure it's a real business investment, not just a backdoor way to buy a visa.
But here's the catch. This rule ties your immigration outcome directly to the success or failure of a new business. If that business goes under, you could lose both your money and your green card. The gold card just flips this whole idea on its head. It's not an investment. It's a one-time, non-refundable payment. This gives the applicant total certainty. Their immigration status is completely separate from how some private business is doing or what the market is up to. Once the payment is made, the transaction is done. Finally, let's talk about the sheer amount of paperwork and administrative hassle. The complexity of each path is a direct result of how it's designed. The EB-5 application is famous for being a beast, but it has to be. You've got to prove where your money came from, present a bulletproof business plan, track job creation. It all requires mountains of technical documents. But the gold card is designed around a simple transaction, a direct payment. So logically, it leads to a much more streamlined and simplified application. Okay, so we've walked through those 5 major differences. Let's pull it all together now for a clear final look at how these two models compare. And this table just lays it all out, doesn't it? The gold card is built for applicant certainty and government revenue. It prioritizes speed, simplicity, and zero risk. The EB-5, on the other hand, is built for economic impact. It uses private money to create jobs, but that comes with the price of a much longer, more complicated, and riskier process for the applicant. You know, when you look at it like this, side by side, it's not just about the practical differences. It really pushes us to have a bigger conversation about the whole philosophy behind this kind of immigration. So, what's the right model for the future? Should the system be designed to be an economic engine, using private investment to create jobs, even if it's slow and complicated? Or is it better to have a more efficient system based on a direct, no-strings-attached payment to the government? The answer to that question is really going to define where this all goes next.